Hello everybody and welcome back to the Electrician's Broom. Today we're going to go over splicing using a wago and a wire nut. Let's get into it. Alright, so getting right into it, the only thing you're going to need today is a pair of wire strippers, and then for material you're going to need a wire nut or a wago, and then obviously some wire. First thing you want to do is grab your wires, take your strippers, strip the end of the wire back to an even distance. And what I mean by that is you want the same amount of copper showing on both wires. We have two, but regardless of how many you have, you want the copper from the tip back to the installation to be at the same distance. You can then grab your wire nut, spin it on there. And you want it to be pretty firm. Don't over tighten it. You'll be able to feel it as you're tightening it down. If you over tighten it, you could potentially send the copper out the front of the wire nut or damage the wire nut itself. But once you have it on there and it feels firm, always, I still do it. I've been doing this for a long time. Pull on the wires once you're done twisting it on. What that does is it confirms that you've made a good connection within the wire nut, because spinning it on, it might feel tight, but it could potentially be backing one of the wires out as you're twisting it. And you really don't know unless you give it a nice pull, and that tells you that you have a good connection. So that is the wire nut option. This is what I probably use 90% of the time. The other option is the wago. This is a 3-port wago. 1, 2, 3. And these are pretty nifty, because all you do is peel back the tabs, strip the wire back, and then slide them in. And for the amount that you want stripped back on the wago, it actually tells you. I don't know if it's focused or not, but you can see that there's a little line right there. And what you do is grab your wire and place it up to that line, and that shows you how much copper that you need to have showing for the wago. So we're actually a little bit long right now, so I'm going to take this, cut it back, and then I'll check it again. All right, so that's perfect. So I'll grab my other wire, hold it next to it, and then strip it back to the exact same length. Take your wago, take your other wago, and then you can just place the stripped wire into there. And then you can see also, since the back is clear, if the copper has made it all the way to the front of the wago, which is exactly what you want. And then also on the side, you can see if your insulation is too long. If it is too long, that is not good, because that could mean that it's clamping down on the insulation and not the actual copper. So checking it, it looks like we're perfect. Grab our next wire. Place it in there like that. And then snap the clip down. Just like so. This third one isn't being used. We're just going to clip it down anyways. Again, you want to do a tug test. That is why I'm not a huge wago fan. I'm going to do that again and see what happens. All right, so our tug test did not fail that time. I may have done something wrong when I clipped it down, but that is why I tend to prefer wire nuts. Wagos are really nice for troubleshooting, because say you have to take a wire or remove a portion of the circuit, you can just open up the wago and pull the wire out, clip it back down, and then do your troubleshooting. And then once you're ready to reinstall, you just place the wire back in there, clip it down, and you're good to go. With a wire nut, you have to twist the wire off, separate your wires, and then put it back on. So a wago is a lot easier in that sense, but you can see I just did the tug test, and that's exactly why we do that, is to make sure that you've made a good connection. I put it back in and it was fine, but with a wire nut, I mean, this is tried and true and proven, They've been around for a very long time. So I tend to prefer wire nuts, but like I said, the Wago is a little bit easier to use, and you don't have to twist so much. It's very user-friendly to use a Wago. Both of them do work great. It pretty much just comes down to preference at this point. Wagos now have been a lot better. In the past, they weren't as good, but these clamp down ones seem to be a pretty good product. And that is pretty much it for splicing. There you go. There you go. I did do this video live. I didn't want to do any editing just since I'm in front of the camera, so it might have been a little bit choppy. I might have made some errors, but I just wanted to keep on rolling. Pretty short video too. If you did tune in, I appreciate it. I hope that you learned something. If you did or enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. And then I'll probably make another video next week. So thanks, everybody.